Welcome back to another RotoMoto video. My name is Donnie, and in this video brought to you by O'Neal, you're going to get a casual fan's guide to the Motocross of Nations, and stick around until the end to find out how you could win an autographed race-worn Phil Nicoletti jersey for your personal collection. The meat and potatoes of this video will briefly be covering all of the riders that a fan of the AMA Motocross series could, would, and should know this weekend, but before that, let's do a quick crash course on the format itself. As of the filming of this video, there are 34 teams compiling 102 riders signed up and ready to compete for their country. But unfortunately, only the top 20 countries and 60 riders will land on Sunday's premiere gate. Each country will bring 3 riders to the table, one on a 454-stroke, one on a 254-stroke, and a third that is listed as the open class. Back in the day of the 2-stroke domination, this could be used for something like the monstrous 500cc smoker, but in today's competition, it is more or less just an additional 450 slot. To whittle down the 34 teams to just 20, each class has their own separate qualifying heat on Saturday with the entire gate full of riders in each classification. After the 3 races are complete, the 3 motos are added together to seed each team. The top 19 squads all advance directly to the action on Sunday, with all remaining squads competing in what is billed the B final first thing on Sunday morning. This will be a single moto with all 3 eligible racers from each country competing. This is a winner-take-all event, as the squad with the best sum of scores will get that 20th and final slot on the gate later on Sunday afternoon, with the rest of the pack being seated in the standings where they finish, starting with the 21st position respectively. Sunday afternoon we'll see a 3-moto format, with each rider racing 2 of the 3 and being able to line up alongside each other qualified rider at least once. This means there will be a single moto of the 450 class racing the 250 class, the 250 class racing the open class, and the open class racing the 450 class. Similarly to the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Series, each rider will provide 2 moto finishes for a total of 6 scores for each country. However, the worst moto score from each team is automatically dropped, giving each team a combined 5 moto score, with the lowest cumulative score taking the championship every year. In order to watch the race live, you will be required to sign up at mxgp-tv.com for an account. Unfortunately, if you don't already have an active membership from watching the MXGP series over the summer, then it can be quite pricey. It's $41.99 US for the season pass, and that includes all MXGP action, in addition to Motocross of Nations. But if you want to watch just this weekend, it's still a whopping $36.50 in the US, but you will get all 3 days of action, including the opening ceremonies on Friday, all of the qualifying action Saturday, as well as the full race day on Sunday. Alright, now that you know how the event works and how to watch it, let's get to the team guide. Since I'm in the US and the race is in the US, and the overwhelming majority of subscribers to my channel are in the US, and I only cover the US series, I'm going to focus mainly on riders that US fans will be familiar with. Also, I'm absolutely going to butcher so many of the names of the overseas riders, so don't even waste your time commenting to point it out, because I will not read any of them. Alright, on to the squads. In case you've been living under a rock for the last month, the Star Spangled team will be racing number 101, 102, and 103 respectively this year, as the United States did not compete in the 2021 contest. 2022 Pro Motocross champion Eli Tomac will run 101 on his Yamaha. The 102 will be seen on the Yamaha of the highest finishing American 250 rider in the series, Justin Cooper, and the 103 will go to Chase Sexton, fresh off his impressive 2022 season that saw him score more points than any other rider in history to not bring home the title. Eli has raced for his country 3 times, going 16-2 on a 250 in 2013 when they brought home silver for the country, going 3-6 in 2014 aboard the 450 in the open class and landing on the 3rd step of the podium, and finally going 4-7 in 2018, finishing off the podium in 5th. Justin Cooper has raced for the US just once in his career, filling the 250 spot alongside Zach Osborne and Jason Anderson in 2019. Cooper had an awful weekend, going down early in the first race, taking his teammate down in the process and breaking his hand. He eventually finished 25-29 with the 29th getting dropped, with Team USA finishing a lowly 6th with just 2 top 10 moto scores on the day. This is Chase Sexton's first time competing for his country aboard a factory Honda in the open class. It's not every day the US sends such a young rider in the premier spot to this race, but Chase has proved this season that he's earned the opportunity and looks forward to opening his MXdN career with a victory. The 2021 defending champion Italy team will run 1, 2, and 3 respectively, as is usual for the defending country. Antonio Caroli made his long-awaited debut in US competition in 2022 after officially retiring from MXGP competition last season. Although he didn't race Redbud in July, the K-Team rider did finish inside the top 10 in 3 of his 5 outdoor nationals with a best of 5th at Thunder Valley. This will be Tony's 15th time racing for his country, and no doubt wants a repeat for the Italian squad before likely leaving the sport completely in 2023. Joining him for Italy will be 2021 MX of Nations teammate Mattia Guadagnini in the Open class, and Andrea Adamo aboard the 250 in the MX2 class. Team Netherlands finished second last year and will bring Glenn Coldenhoff, Kay de Wolf, and Calvin Vlanderen to the table in 2022, but most will be more interested in the guy that is not here. Jeffrey Herlings has led Team Netherlands to 2 titles in the last 3 years, but suffered a catastrophic practice injury before the season started that derailed his entire 2022 campaign, which is a major shame as many have wanted to see the best that Europe has to offer take on the best of the US. With Jeffrey going 1-1 for a weekend visit to the States in 2017, as well as going 2-4 behind teammate Glenn's 1-1 in 2019. Coldenhoff has been a part of Team Netherlands every single year for the last decade, including the 2019 championship season. Calvin Vlanderen will also on the 2019 squad, as well as 2018, and Kay de Wolf, however, will be making his nation's debut this weekend. Great Britain ended up on the 3rd step of the podium last year and will rep numbers 7, 8, and 9 in the 2022 campaign. Popular 450 rider Dean Wilson will take the 450 spot for the British squad, racing for his country for the 7th time since 2009, but the first time since 2017, where his squad took home another 3rd place finish for his efforts. Dean recently retired from his professional outdoor career, so another podium would be quite the send-off for the Scottish rider this weekend. The MX2 slot will see Max Anstey aboard a KTM 250, his first appearance since 2018. Max famously went 1-1 in 2017 aboard a big bike, but this will be his first return to the 250 class since 16, as he's been riding a 450 in US competition since coming to the States in 2020. Rounding out the squad is Tommy Searle, who has only been seen once in the United States when he competed at Motocross of Nations in 2018 with a 10th place moto finish at Redbud in the mud. Tommy has been a staple for the team as this marks his 12th appearance since 2006. Notably missing this year is the Russian squad, who finished 4th in 2021. Following suit with many other sports organizations, this year the series has refused entries from the Russian nation after their involvement in the invasion of Ukraine. Not gonna go into more details here because it's just simply not relevant to the video. Team France will run numbers 13, 14, and 15 with 2 familiar faces to the US audience. 2021 Pro Motocross champion Dylan Ferrandis is slated to fill the open slot on a 450 for the French squad. However, there have been rumors that he may not be able to race after injuring his lower back in a collision with Justin Barcia in August. Ferrandis has raced for Team France twice in 2014 and 2018, bringing home the championship in both years aboard a 250 in the MX2 division. Another American Series mainstay is Marvin Musquin, will compete for the squad this year, his 6th chance to race for his country, but the first since 2015. Despite racing in the Premier class since 2016, Marv will step back down to the 250s this weekend, looking to replicate his success in 2015 when he went 3-4 with France taking the crown. Rounding out the squad is Maxime Renault in the MXGP class after finishing 4th overall in the GP series. Renault has never raced in the US, but has one other appearance in MX of Nations where he represented France in 2019. Notably missing from the squad is 2-time MX2 world champion Tom Vial, who was elected to skip Nations this year to focus on his transition to the American Series for 2023. Belgium finished 6th last year and will bring Jago Geerts, Liam Everts, and Jeremy Van Horbeek. All 3 riders have 0 experience in the US Series, but have plenty of experience racing for their nation. Jago and Jeremy both raced in 2018 when the event was held at Redbud. Jeremy has 11 nation appearances under his belt, while Jago raced in 18 and 19, but young Liam Everts has just one, finishing 13, 17, and 2021. The Estonian squad finished 7th last season, led by longtime rider Tano Liok, who raced for Estonia every single year from 2004 to 2019, and Hari Kulis, who has 11 appearances himself. US audiences will be most familiar with Jorgen Matthias Talviku as he raced the 250 class in the US Series this summer, scoring 19 pro points capped off by a 16-15 finish at Ironman in August. He has experience racing to nations after competing for the Estonia team last season. Switzerland is led by Jeremy Seawer, who finished runner-up in the 3 of the last 4 MXGP series dating back to 2019, and will rep his country for the 10th time in 2022. He is joined by Valentin Guad, racing for his 11th time, as well as Kevin Bruman making his The Nations debut. Now that we're out of the top 10 from last year, I'm going to truncate this presentation to just include the most notable of riders so that it doesn't end up being half an hour long. Team Canada will see Dylan Wright and Tyler Medaglia on the 450 with Ryder McNabb on the small bike. Wright has 4 moto finishes in the US, but is most known as a 4-time champion in the land up north. He competed for the country last year, leading them with an 11th place moto score in the first race. T-Dags will represent the Maple Leafs for the 8th time this year, coming off some GNCC races, but most US fans will know him for his 6th overall finish at Ironman in 2018. And young Ryder McNabb has 0 nations experience and 0 US competition appearances, but the 16-year-old phenom is one of the youngest to ever compete in this prestigious event. Spain will seize 2-time MX2 champion Jorge Prado in the GP class, as well as Ruben Fernandez, but most American fans will instead know Guillaume Fares, who was a fill-in ride for a couple of rounds with the Star Racing Yamaha squad this summer, bringing in 2 top 10 motos in the 4 race finishes. The Swedish team will bring Freddie Noren for his 5th go at the Nations, but his first since 2017. Freddie finished 14th overall in the 450 class this summer, racing for the BBMX team, but has finished inside the top 10 in 4 separate seasons since 2014. Venezuela will bring in 2 racers with US experience, Anthony Rodriguez on the 67 and Lorenzo Lacurcio on the 69, both on 450s. This will be A-Rod's 5th time racing for Venezuela and established a great career in the US over the last 9 years, finishing in the top 10 in 4 separate Supercross series on the 250 with a single top 10 moto in the 450 class in 2016. This will be Lorenzo's 3rd trip with the Nations, last seen at Redbud in 2018 when he led the team with a 16th place moto finish in race 3. His best season came in 2019 when he finished 11th in Supercross on a 250 and 17th outdoor on a 450 after scoring 103 points. Japan will field the runner-up in the 250 Pro Motocross season, with Joe Shimoda making his Nations debut with number 98. Joe has finished in the top 5 in 5 of his 7 American Series indoor and out since turning pro in 2019, with a 5th and 2nd outdoor in the last 2 years. Felix Lopez will race for the Mexican national team. His first Nations appearance since Redbud in 2018, Lopez has raced 19 outdoor nationals with his career best finish of 16th overall in the season opener in May of this year. The Guam squad will see notable not Guam natives on the squad, similar to what Team Puerto Rico has done in the past. Big Rig Benny Bloss makes his Nations debut this year after a 12th place finish aboard the Butler Brothers KTM's outdoor in 2022, after finishing 6th and 7th respectively in 16 and 17. Young Josh Faries will also race for the squad after a 15th place showing outdoors on the AEO KTM earlier this year, and will also make his Nations debut. Also of note, Sean Leponovich will race the open class for the squad despite having no pro races on record since 2018. The Florida-born rider has scored 3 pro points outdoors to go with 25 points in Supercross, but every single one of those finishes are over a decade ago. Team Chile sees national number earning Hardy Munoz making his Nations debut this season on the 250 after earning 7 points in 3 races outdoors. And another squad that skipped 2021 and has high numbers to show for it and high expectations this year is Team Australia, boasting Mitch Evans on the 450 to go with high-profile Lawrence brothers for an all-Honda team. Evans has no US experience outside of his The Nations appearance in 2018, where he went 10-14 with Australia taking 4th overall. Hunter Lawrence will race on the 250, where he finished 3rd in points behind his brother and Shimoda in 2022. Hunter had an amazing showing at Redbud in 2018 with moto scores of 2.8 to lead Australia, as well as going 4.8 in 2017. And making his Nations debut is the 3-time 250 champion Jet Lawrence, who will make his 450 debut at this event. Jet is slated to move up to the 450 class next summer, so it will be very interesting to see where he stacks up against the world's best at a track that he is already familiar with 2 moto wins in the last 2 years. New Zealand's Josiah Natsuki made a bit of a name for himself in the Americans this year after racing 4 nationals and finishing top 20 overall in every single one, including 2 11th place moto finishes in the 250 class. This will be his 3rd Nations appearance and his first since 2017, although he will be on the big bike this weekend. And finally, the Brazilian squad will bring 2 young national number earning riders in Ramy Alves and Enzo Lopes. The former has competed in the States every year since 2018, with a career best 18th overall in the 250 West Division in 2021 indoor and 70 points scored outdoors over 3 seasons, all on a 250. Alves will step up to the 450 division for his 3rd Nations appearance this year. Meanwhile, the cream of the Brazilian crop will be making his 1st Nations appearance this season, with Enzo Lopes debuted in 2018 for the JGR Suzuki squad and raced 250s ever since, earning back-to-back top 5 finishes indoors for the Club MX Yamaha squad. He has limited outdoor professional experience, but did race Redbud this season, going 15-18 for 16th overall. Do you think the United States squad can finally break their decade-long absence at the top of the podium, or do you think one of the other squads will steal the Americans' thunder and come out on top on the Star-Spangled Squad's own soil? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to hit the like button, and be sure to subscribe to RotoMoto for more breaking news and analysis like this. The #1 way to get more eyes on the channel is to tell the platform that this video was a good one, and if you value the content I put out, consider joining me over on Patreon for just about $1 per week. You help me continue to make videos like this, and you're also entered to win race use and autographed memorabilia. This month up for grabs is an autographed Filthy Phil Nicoletti jersey fresh off his back in Supercross. I was trying to save this one for when he returned to the series, but alas, he never did return. Thanks as always for watching RotoMoto. My name is Donnie. Keep it pinned to the weekend.